Have you ever wondered how people live in places so remote? They don't appear on most maps. Far from the chaos of cities and untouched by industrial noise, there are villages hidden in the folds of the Himalayas, one of the most unforgiving and majestic environments on Earth. These aren't relics of the past. They're thriving, living communities that have found ways to exist in perfect balance with nature. In a world obsessed with progress and speed, these people live slowly, intentionally growing their own food, honoring the seasons, and preserving knowledge that dates back centuries. But life here isn't easy. It's carved out of mountains, shaped by snow, and tempered by tradition. Yet somehow, these remote villagers flourish. They raise children, tend farms, worship the wind, and write their stories in stone and soil. Today, we enter that world to listen, to learn, and maybe even to remember what we've lost. The Himalayas are often described as nature's cathedral, a place of silence and spiritual awe. But for those who live here, it is not a place to admire from a distance. It is a place of daily struggle, discipline, and profound connection. Ridges and cliffs become highways. Valleys become fields. Entire villages sit atop peaks, isolated for weeks or months during heavy snow. The landscape is rugged, unpredictable, and breathtaking. It gives and it takes. In spring, it offers wild herbs and melting snow for water. In winter, it isolates entire families behind walls of ice. But through this dance with nature, the people here have developed a deep respect for the land, treating it not as something to conquer, but as a partner in life. Every mountain is sacred. Every tree has a story. And every elder knows exactly when the clouds signal an early frost. Life here is shaped by intuition, respect, and centuries of wisdom passed by word of mouth, not textbooks. In the Himalayas, sustainability isn't a movement. It's a necessity. Every resource here is finite, every choice intentional. Families grow their own food on terraced hillsides, stacked like green ladders across the mountain. These terraces are generations old, maintained not by machines, but by hand and memory. Farming follows the rhythms of the sun and moon. Seeds are saved from the best harvests, and compost is treated like gold. Nothing is wasted, not a grain, not a drop of water. In many villages, women lead the way. They choose which seeds to plant, they remember the old irrigation patterns, and they often decide when the planting begins. Their knowledge, inherited through ritual and experience, sustains not just households but entire communities. Even the forest is farmed with care. Agroforestry, planting trees among crops, is common. Provides food, firewood, medicine, and balance. These systems weren't invented in boardrooms or research labs, they were passed down in lullabies, morning routines, and shared meals. But now the harmony is shifting. The glaciers are melting faster than ever. Rivers run dry during critical planting months. Winters arrive late, then overstay their welcome. Insects appear at the wrong times, attacking crops that once grew untouched. For the people of the Himalayas, climate change isn't some distant theory, it is a daily experience. It brings fear, uncertainty, and grief. And yet it also brings resolve. Communities are adapting in ingenious ways. Villagers are installing solar panels on roofs once warmed only by fire. They're collecting rainwater in underground tanks to last through drier summers. Greenhouses made of mud and plastic now extend growing seasons by months. Elders, once seen as caretakers of the past, are now seen as guides to the future, helping younger generations blend ancestral knowledge with new tools. They're not giving up. They're finding ways to make the old ways work for a new, unstable world. Himalayas, tradition and technology don't compete, they collaborate. Villagers still light butter lamps to honor their gods, but they also install LED strips to light kitchens after sunset. Clay stoves are now paired with solar cookers, and some homes use animal dung as both fuel and fertilizer, harnessing what nature provides at every step. These aren't primitive communities, they're incredibly sophisticated in their understanding of ecosystems, physics, and sustainability. Schools in some areas now teach children both science and story. A lesson might begin with tales of a mountain spirit and end with a breakdown of how to construct a wind turbine using scrap metal and bamboo. Innovation here is quiet. It's not flashy. It's not dependent on Wi-Fi or apps. It is driven by need and shaped by deep cultural values. It is proof that sustainable development doesn't mean erasing what came before, it means honoring it, adapting it, and carrying it forward. The path ahead for these villages is uncertain. Tourism brings income but also pollution. Urban migration offers opportunity but risks eroding identity. And climate change continues to press from all sides. But there is also hope. Local youth are returning home, not to escape the modern world, but to change it from within. They bring back skills, education, and tools, but also a deep love for their land. They are opening schools, launching ecotourism programs, digitizing oral history, and even building cooperatives that trade local herbs globally while protecting their origin. The Himalayas may seem remote, but their future is tied to ours. They show us that living with less doesn't mean having less, and that ancient wisdom might just hold the keys to a more sustainable future for us all. In the silence of the Himalayas, we hear the kind of wisdom the modern world desperately needs, that real wealth isn't in abundance, but in balance. The people living in these remote mountain villages remind us that sustainability isn't a trend, it's a tradition. And in their quiet resilience lies a lesson for us all to slow down, to live with intention, and to reconnect with the earth beneath our feet. If this journey inspired you, don't let it end here. Hit the like button to support meaningful stories like this. Tap subscribe so you don't miss future deep dives into the world's most fascinating places. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that another way of life is not only possible, it's already happening. Because sometimes the most remote corners of the world reveal the clearest truth. The future depends on how we live today.